We got a great show for you today. We got a band out of the great state of Texas in the United States called Life Cycles. If you're a big fan of thrash and you like more modern hardcore and just good riffs and good tones and heaviness, well, this band is for you. They got a new EP coming out on March 27th called No One Escapes Death. It sounds great so far. Can't wait to hear the rest. Here's my interview with Xavier Rios from Life Cycles. Okay, so I'm joined here with Xavier Rios from Life Cycles, and we have a new EP coming out on March 27th called No One Escapes Death. What can you tell us about this? What's going on with this? How did you approach writing and recording this compared to previous releases? Anything at all?
So this one was just like, I guess pretty much just trying to make this, I would say, it's always like those like continuation of the next one or trying to top the next one. And then it ended up just being just a whole complete different just like approach where it was just like, instead of just trying to make the better one of the last EP, it was just like whole new take on just kind of everything. So just, I think pretty much just a little more groove on this one, you know, a little bit of elements we've never done, I guess, before. That's stuff that we've always kind of wanted to do. You know what I mean?
So when you say stuff that's never been done, stuff that you've always wanted to do, what kind of stuff can fans expect on this?
Like I said, kind of like a little more groove-oriented stuff. A little more of like, I would say like trying to bring out more like emotional side. So like, you know, like for the first time kind of just writing like, I don't want to say like a ballad type part in a song, but just like, you know, just really just not being afraid to try, just I guess like different kind of stuff, you know what I mean, or just sticking to the same blueprint, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely a little bit, maybe like an evolution of sound a little bit there. Now, if someone's never heard of Life Cycles before, what track off this EP would you recommend they check out first and why?
First song that's gonna be on the record, like first one in order, the Hell Beneath. I think that one is like, I think pretty much everyone's favorite song. It has Josh from Stylosis on the song, okay, and doing the guest vocals. But I think that one just, it has everything. I guess like it has the guitar solos. You know what I mean? It has like the heavy we've always wanted, and just like I think song one, Hell Beneath. I think that's the one for sure.
Just every song, start to finish, just listen to it. Yeah. So, as a drummer, what did you do to challenge yourself on this EP?
Oh, so, which is, okay, so obviously drums pretty much, usually I would say you come last, right next to vocals, I would think on the record, but like, so I'm pretty like heavy on writing riffs with the guys. So like a lot of, it's weird, the drums come like second for me. But this time around, I wanted to make sure like it didn't come too second, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to like, okay, let's kind of throw a little bit of this, a little bit of that in there. But I think I mean I'm not that young, you know. So when I was younger, I used to try to just like do the most because I want to impress, you know, this, that, and the third drummer. But this one, you know, getting to this age, I'm always cater to the song more than anything, you know. But at the same time, this time around, I was like, you know what, let me do a little thing here and there, you know, just trying to just push it just like a little more, because I'm pretty known to not be, I don't play our songs pretty like the record live, like I don't play it, you know, the same. So I'm always, you know, spicing it up. So I tried to kind of give it that aspect while recording, but it's kind of hard when like I'm able to like hear our songs for so long and then add to it, you know, and then when you're like barely recording it, you know, it's kind of hard to like do it off the rip, you know what I mean? Because you've only heard it for so long, and then like, you know, I think way later I'm thinking, oh, I should have done that here, you know what I mean? But, you know, just try to give it, you know, little flavor, you know, just kind of just my own flavor on the little more than I guess reserved than I was on the last one.
What would you say would be the most physically demanding song on this EP for you, and why?
I think Soul in Chains by I forget what number it is on the CD, but it's the one with the Matt Heafy on it. But it just has it's just fast. It's just double bass. You know what I mean? Has some parts, but I would say that one for sure.
Now, how would you describe your drumming style? Who were some of the influences for you growing up?
You got to go Joey Jordison off the rib. Yeah. I think he's just I think anybody who's played heavy music in the last 20 years, if he's he's that guy. You know what I mean? I would say him, Vinnie Paul for sure.
I was gonna say Vinnie Paul. I can hear it.
Yeah, bro, for sure. That's just, Pantera in general. It's a huge influence.
You got this from Tactic, but it kind of makes sense, right?
Oh, dude, 100%. So I would say, Vinny for sure. I'm I'm super into gospel trap drummers, to Eric Moore for sure. I kind of try to, I'm not the craziest chopper when it comes to gospel chops, but I'm super into that. So trying to mesh those kind of styles, I feel is what I try to do, so I would say, that aspect of drumming. And then I'm probably blanking out on other people right now that hey, I'll say Lars. Hey, people hate on Lars, but hey, he's the GOAT when it came to just that, just four to the floor. But it's the accents he did. I think that's a huge influence to me. I will say though, it's kind of when you're just, it's those odd time accents, or it was just the way it made the riff hit. I will definitely say Lars for sure.
Okay. Breaking news. This is the first drummer ever to have Lars Ulrich as an... No, I'm kidding. I'm saying, okay. You're right, though.
People give him shit, though, but hey, hey, man, he's been playing... The motherfucker's about to be 70 years old still doing this shit. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, definitely there's, Q in the compilation of every time he's fucked up every time. But you know what I mean? It's just what... It's kind of more the way he wrote on some of the those first six albums was just crazy,
right? For sure. Now, was there a moment that you can recall when writing this EP that kind of really clicked, when you kind of knew, all right, this is something cool? Any cool stories behind the scenes, anything at all?
I feel it's always hard to hear it when in the early stages, always, because I feel it's so not put together yet, if that makes sense. It's called Mirror of Doubt, but it's this clean part that Buck, our guitar player, wrote. I remember walking in, I think from my room, or I don't know, I came in from it and just not being in the session for a second, and then I kind of heard him playing it, and I was like, damn, that sounds fucking dope. It just, I was that's where when we were talking in the beginning, it gets kind of something different. It was we've had clean stuff, but it's clean intro, clean, that kind of vibe.
Just a little bit of flavor, yeah.
Yeah, it's always been intro or interlude that had clean, but this was this is in the middle of a song, there's a break in the middle of the song that something that we've never really done, but that was something I remember listening to him do, and I was whoa, that's cool, that's different, that's something, I guess, and, it's not something that it's something you've always wanted to do, but you didn't know that yet,
Right. Okay.
So that was definitely, I feel, that moment when I heard him playing that, and I was that's crazy, that's fucking sick. So it doesn't seem too crazy, but it was I guess it had more that emotion to it, and it has a solo over it too. So I was oh, that's sick,
Yeah, there's plenty of riffs out there, right? We can just start naming guitar riffs all day, and we can start jamming guitar riffs all day. That's cool, or you get that stank face, right? But getting into something like that, it's oh shit, this is sweet. So I'm glad that kind of blossom into a full song for this, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it kind of it's kind of that part in No More Tears, where it's that, just I don't know, it always sounds aquatic to me when it's that one huge part before the guitar solo comes in, but it was that kind of vibe for me. It was oh shit, that's just a whole breath of fresh air, like a song that you didn't even expect to be there, you know?
Hey, real quick, just want to stop by and say thanks for checking out this episode of the Kevin Powell Podcast. I do appreciate it. Some of you are watching and you're not even subscribed. So if you take a second, just hit that subscribe button. Well, it does help grow the channel. It helps grow the possibilities for more interviews, more festival coverage, all that fun stuff. Thank you for checking out this episode. Back to the interview. Right now I'm talking to Xavier Rios from the band Life Cycles. They got a new EP coming out, but they also have a big tour coming up with Bleed From Within. How stoked are you on this?
So happy to be back. You know, like, it's been a little minute since we've, you know, toured the US, but definitely, you know, definitely with these guys, it's kind of be like, it's crazy. I mean, we're stoked. It's probably like the biggest rooms as a band that we're playing just, you know, so, you know, yet, like, at all. We've never, you know, playing these cap rooms here in the US, and you stoked, bro. You know, I mean, we're just happy to be on the road, but definitely, like, you know, this tour is definitely just like a dream come true pretty early on, I guess, for us. Like, we're not a new band. We're not necessarily a super old band, but it's like, you know, we've been around for a while, but doing, like, I guess, like, these kind of, like I said, like, these kind of cap rooms is gonna be cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's totally a different. Of course, we love packing out those small rooms and blast like that hardcore vibe, right? But it's just a different feeling of going to big amphitheaters or theaters or just something that's, I don't know, 4 times the size that you're used to, and you're like, oh shit, this is real life. So happy for you on that. I want to know, how are you approaching this tour differently compared to tours past? Probably a lot of experience you've learned, but, you know, now it's time to, all right, we gotta get ready. What are you thinking here?
Pretty much, like, you know, definitely trying to, I mean, coming off of this, the Silosis headliner in Europe, you know, this is more like kind of like the metal kind of vibes, the metal tour, you know. So, like, I wouldn't say we're not catered to the moshers as much, you know what I mean? It's more like the, you know, those kind of, you know, those kind of guys. But those, to me, is like, that's kind of the shit when you're like that's like, you know, seeing that shit on, you know, stage is a cool, you know. But honestly, we're just trying, I mean, we're playing a bunch of we're going to try to play a bunch of the new stuff. We already played like 2 of the new ones in Europe. But yeah, I mean, I think we're just like, you know, we're always just trying to give them the best show, you know what I mean? We're just always just trying to do our thing. And that's, you know, that's how we're approaching this tour. Is just like, this is the time to show it, you know what I mean? You know, like, you know, I guess it's always play your show like it's your last, and, you know, you never know, like, you know, this could all end tomorrow. So it's just like, you know, let's just, on this tour, it's the biggest tour to date, you know, it's the first time going to Canada. So it's like, we just got to give it our, you know, approach is give it our all, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, this is game time kind of thing, you know what I mean?
I love the quote that you just said, approach it like it's your last. That's something else. I mean, that's good, man.
Yeah, bro, you got to. I mean, like, I think every time, like, towards the end of the set, like, you know, it's like, you know, you could be getting you're tired, gassed out, whatever, but it's like, you know, even finish off that last note till, like, hey, you never know if it's the last time you're, you know, stepping on that stage. You never know, you know. So it's like, did you give it your all kind of thing? That's all. That's how I approach it. You know what I mean?
I'm feeling inspired. That's awesome.
Bro, I mean, you never know. You never know.
So are there any, I mean, besides Canada, are there any cities on this that you're like, wow, I can't wait to hit this, or I can't wait to catch up with whoever at this place?
I think definitely LA. We have some just friends from back in the day, just going there and have some homies there and just playing LA proper. We never really played like in LA, you know. We back in the day in other bands, we played like kind of like around it, and then like luckily we got to play Chain Reaction before it closed down.
Okay.
On the tour with our friends in I Am and Mall, shout out them. They, you know, we got to play Chain, but it wasn't like in LA, you know what I mean? So
LA adjacent.
Yeah, like, pretty much. So I would say there, I think it's pretty cool. I don't think we know anybody there, but we got, like, I know Chicago's in like House of Blues, so that's crazy, you know, to play at House of Blues is pretty sick. We, at first, this tour is actually supposed to come to San Antonio, which, you know, where we're from, but it's going to Austin. So being able to be, we know there's going to be like our family and like friends going to come up to that show. So I guess to play on a bigger, you know, tour for us, and having our friends be able to come out, that's always cool. Like,
Well, of course.
So that's I guess in Austin. It's only like an hour from here, but I would say that one. Dallas too. Like, we have a bunch of friends in Dallas. Our producer who produced our stuff, he's up there too. So yeah, I mean, first show's in Worcester, and that's where our guy Scott, that's where he's from. So other than that, I mean, I don't know. Just fucking stoked. I mean, Canada, I would say that's kind of stoked on that. Never fucking been there. So I mean, I don't know. I was in Niagara Falls, if anything.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to get the band picture in front of the fall.
Yeah. I just always think of Bruce Almighty when I think of the Niagara Falls. But yeah, no, but I stay there. I can't really think off the top of my head anywhere else, but definitely like a bunch of homies in LA, and always love to go out there.
Awesome. Let's say, all right, I have no idea who you guys are. I'm walking into one of these shows on tour, and what can I expect from a Life Cycle show?
We got some riffs, you know what I mean? I would say definitely have, energy. It's got, it's just got the energy that pretty much like you got to see it. You can't really explain it, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. I think pretty much. I think definitely it's like you got. I would say our music definitely, like, I love the sound of it on record, but I think definitely it's like to see it live is like where it makes more sense.
Right. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right? You put the songs out and then you play them live and you hope to gain some fans from that. That's why you go on tour, right? And, sell some merch and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to catch you guys live. I get to do that fun thing where I'm all the way really far away from everybody else. If I need to go anywhere, I have to really plan it. But watching live videos and hearing just from that alone, it's like, damn, these guys rule. So yeah, fans can expect great set from you guys, of course, especially with the new music that you guys will be putting into. Now, do you remember what was the wildest moment that you can recall, or just a wild moment that you can recall from any of your past shows?
Honestly, a lot of the San Antonio shows, like hometown shows, those are always one I could think of like, just people just like going crazy. We had one of our homies, it was like a little while back, but I'll never forget, like, one of our homies, he's like super fucking tall. He's like, I guess, well, to me, I'm like 5'10", but like he's like 6'2", and like this full straight up just like stage dove, but like he's tall as fuck, and when he stage dove, he kind of just like nose dives, I guess, in the sense, and just totally just like fucking like ripped his like ligaments on his shoulder out. Like, I don't even know if anybody caught him either. That's kind of the funny part. Like, it's on video too, and I'm like, dude, nobody caught him. Like, and like, but he that was just like super random because he just jumped from the side of the stage and then just like fucked his shit up. Fuck, I'm trying to think.
That was that.
Now, yeah, I was like, bro, yeah, it wasn't even the end of the hit. I mean, we definitely were, we ended up coming out like on Lamb Goat, but somebody got like stabbed at one of our shows, but that was interesting, but terrible situation, kind of whack, but that happened. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, that one kind of takes the cake, which is like, the only thing I will say about that show, which did suck more than anything, is that like that whole situation just was bad, but we were so fucking stoked to play this show, and like we were like 3 songs in and we had to stop the show.
Oh man.
That was probably, it was just like, I was so like, honestly, I had no idea of the severity of like what happened at all. They just kind of cleared everybody out and like the cops came, but I was like, it was the energy was so thick, and I was like, what? We have to stop. And we were like, the whole show was thick. Like, all the bands from here like killed it, and like it was like, oh, let's go. And then that sucks. I was sad. It was like, damn. Well, all of them, all that hyping up the show, everything, just no shows. But I mean, yeah. So I would say that.
Wow. Well, I have a few last questions for you here. These are some fun ones. So what's your favorite pre-show ritual? Some people stretch, some people do this, some people do, what do you do?
I will say, we didn't really get to do it this last tour because we didn't like bring like a speaker or nothing. But I think always listening to some good jams. Listening to some good like just kind of get like a little vibe going before you go. Just to kind of get in that mode. I think, but
Who you put?
yeah, that would say that. Yeah, just kind of it's like listen to some good songs before you go up.
Who you putting on?
Sometimes it's Pantera, sometimes it's like, it could be just like fucking Testament. I'm trying to think but it could be like a different vibe. Like sometimes we'll be listening to some Mexican songs, you know what I mean? Or, maybe a occasional, I'm trying to think. I guess whatever the vibe is that day, like whatever the vibe is that day, it could be anything really though.
Okay, fair enough. If you had to describe this new EP in just a couple words, what would they be?
I gotta go back with the fucking, it's got the thrash, got the riffs, the groove. I think it's a new energy for us for sure. I think it's just, evolved life cycles. Favorite music to date from us, at least.
Okay, fair. If you had a dream tour lineup, 2 or 3 bands with life cycles, of course, who would it be?
You gotta go with the goats. You gotta go Metallica, dude. I think definitely I think that's the end goal, for us. If any band that's like still doing it, that's like we could be on a show with or a tour with, I will say them. I mean, honestly, the tour with Testament, that would be that's like one of our like super, big influences. But I would say definitely Metallica, definitely. Damn, I'm trying to think. It's always when I put on the spot. I'm like, maybe I'm totally
the best part about these interviews, I don't anything. I just do you vibe.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do live. I'm totally blanking, but I'm like, I don't really know because I mean, bands like still doing it that we would just like. I mean, even Slipknot, that's a huge band for everyone in the band. So, like, even to do something like that or a Hatebreed tour, that's, two completely different levels with that for us would be,
Well, hold on now. Hatebreed, that's not too far out of the equation because you're on the 1126 records, right?
Yeah.
So what's it like being on this? I mean, this is the OG Hatebreed label. Plenty of other bands on this label, of course, but like, how have they been treating you?
Scott, he's the man, bro. And definitely, and our Tom, he's definitely our fucking, they were the ones that take a chance on us when we were just, no one really did, you know what I mean? Or just, found us at the stage we were at there, what was it already like 3 years ago or yeah, like, and yeah. And so, it was just like I said, like, and for anyone to take a chance on us, that's like means the world of anything. And, just been nothing but fucking stick to us, being that, just helping us out and, facilitating a bunch of shit. And, it's exactly what we needed. I'll say that.
Perfect. I mean, we got to shout out the label, of course. I mean, they're doing a great.
Oh, yeah. Shout out 1126, shout out Scott, shout out Tom. Shout out them for sure. And definitely, make everything happen.
What's one of the biggest lessons you've learned as the band has been growing and leveling up that's stuck with you?
Expect the worst. Don't forget that the darkness is at every corner. No, I'm just kidding. But be real, I would say, I would say as everything has been evolving and just going on, just like always, remember why we do this, you know what I mean? I think it's all, everyone's just getting older. Everyone's just, life is just lifing, So I think it's definitely like, always remember why we started this in the first place and, make sure that like the love for the music is always there, because it'll always come through and always show,
That's great. What's something behind the scenes that most people don't know about touring that you've experienced?
Single Europe edition, paying to go to the restroom.
What? What?
That's their first, I would say that is the most like, no pun intended, the shittiest thing I've ever encountered is like when you're like, you kind of wake up and you're like, yo, we need to stop. I need to go to the restroom. And you're literally about to like, usually you're there, like, you're like, I need to go. And then you get off to the gas station and then you got to bust out your phone for tap to pay and then go to the restroom.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was like €1, so it's a little over $1 here, but it's like imagine you going to any gas station having to pay like about $1 and then go pee or then go, the restroom. So that was probably that's like a funny but like kind of like a shitty thing about. I think at least that the torn over there, but I think in general, sleep. I would say that
just sacrifice that. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. So I think, yeah.
Well, I've talked to a couple bands that have been in Europe, from Europe, and they've never mentioned the restroom thing to me. So thank you for sharing that. I did.
Oh, dude, that's like one thing. That's one thing we were just like, what? Like, we were like, what the hell? Oh, and another thing, I guess, being from where we're from, we really love like Tex-Mex food, and it's like the blend between Mexican and Texas style, Mexican food. So the food for us on tour, like, definitely like you can find food anywhere. I mean, especially in, when you here in the US, a lot of chains that you're used to or stuff that or even non-chains, there's food everywhere, but it's when you kind of miss like, you're like, damn, I'm just really craving, like, we have breakfast tacos here, or it's like something that's kind of the thing for us when we're like, oh, kind of miss that, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's just like, that's the one thing we definitely like eat when we come back home. Like, well, I'll go to breakfast. Yeah, well, I'll go to breakfast and stuff like that. But I would say definitely like, yeah, that's the struggle. You know what I mean?
What advice would you give the bands that are just starting out?
Definitely conquer your hometown, but then get out of there. You know what I mean? And not like get out of there, abandon it, just like
abandon it.
Expand. Yeah, leave. Just and fucking make them. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, definitely, chill it in your hometown, but definitely like get out and play other shows. It's kind of something we didn't do just for other reasons when we were first starting here, but we're like it's a little later in the game, kind of. This is like just happening for us now, to a certain extent, but but that's something like my advice, something that, you learn from everyone's mistakes. So I would say that, but biggest one of all, make music you fuck with, not something that's just like a trend or a fad. Like, I mean, if what right now is the music you fuck with, you love, like, stick to it, or like, just in general, stick to music that you love to play. Don't just keep changing with the revolving door that is music. Like now, you know what I mean? Like, it's like in 6 months it'll be this, or next year it'll be this. It's like, I mean, you could do that, but it's cool, whatever. But like, stuff like that doesn't last, or it's just like, I mean, people notice when you're just like switching, or most of all, overall, just write and play music you love. Doesn't even matter if it's like, it'll show, like it'll be reciprocated by like the energy you put into it. It'll show. So it's like, it doesn't, just play the music you love.
Very well said there, Xavier. Any final words you want to say to fans?
Check out the new fucking record coming out this Friday.
So that was the interview with Xavier Rios from Life Cycles. I'll tell you what, these guys are great. Make sure you check out Life Cycles. Make sure you check out their new EP when it comes out. They got a tour coming up with Bleed From Within. Make sure you check them out on tour. Get some merch while you're out there. It always really helps the bands. Thank you for checking out this episode of the Kevin Powell Podcast. I do appreciate it as always. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing, all that fun stuff. Really helps the channel grow. We'll see you guys next time.